How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. So I want to first start out the video by showing everybody the progress of what's left of the shed. I mean, got most of it gone. All that's left is the base now, and that just needs to be torn up. And I mean, as you can see, I mean, this thing was just falling apart. So next thing is we're gonna have to go ahead, tear this base up and get it on the street, which I'm gonna start on that maybe later today. Not 100% sure, but probably about 2 more, loads just sitting on the street corner, and this will be done. And then what I want to do is, I'm thinking about, as you see, it's real low right here and it's high right here. There's always a big hump right in here. I'm thinking about maybe getting a friend of mine with a tractor out and try to level some of this out. Take this section of dirt out right here, because there's some low spots over there and over there. So I'm thinking about getting somebody over to try to level this out a bit. All right, so now let's go ahead, get out and get working on the truck. I'm gonna try today, I don't know how much I'm gonna get done, but I got a few things to get done. So first is I want to get the gauge and all that put into here. I've been thinking about just going ahead, maybe putting the gauge here, switch right there. But I need to, I mean, as you see, this thing's loose. It's always been loose. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pop this off, see what's behind it, and also see what kind of new clips I need to hold this thing on. So first thing, let's rip this off. Well, not rip it, but get it off and see what's behind it. Got the cluster surround thing off. It's basically just clipped on, and a lot of the clips were just, they're broken. I mean, all that's in there. Now, I was kind of thinking, because right here is where the one switch panel went that was right here. And then underneath of it, I was thinking about putting it there, but that's there. But then I was also thinking about putting it here. So now this just needs to come out, and I can put it all in there, because this is deep. There's plenty of room. And then once you put the panel back over it, I would probably just have to make like a kind of a cover panel to cover that. Now there's little tabs in here. They're hard to see. It's right at the top, right here. And supposedly, you push this down, and then it pulls out. Hard to do one-handed, but it's basically, there's 2 tabs. You push this down on there and push that one down, then this piece should just slide right out, and I should have all the room in the world behind it to try to put the gauge right there. So let's go ahead and get that out. There we go. There we go. Got that out. Like I said, so the tab goes right behind there, and right behind there, you just pry it down and it slides out. Now, plenty of room behind there for the gauge. So might need a little trimming on the bottom, but basically can get that in. And there's another, the one panel comes this way, the other one comes that, so we should have no issue with covering. Let me go ahead and get the other panel, put that back on, and see how it would look, and go from there. Well, there's kind of the idea, and I mean, as you see, it is hitting right here. But like I said, I can trim this, because there is a panel that goes over that, so anything that I cut right here, you won't see that I cut it. And then we're just gonna figure out like a flat panel to go behind there. And then this can come over. I don't know. This is just gonna be a lot of winging it. Because I think that's gonna be the best place anyways. Because there's no real room behind there. Alright, well let's go ahead. And I mean, this thing isn't all the way pushed back either. And that's because where it's hitting down there. So we're just gonna have to just keep figuring it out. We'll figure this out though. It's just gonna take a little bit of cutting, a little bit of trimming, a lot of freaking patience. Alright, I'll get back to you when I kind of figure out what I want to do. Alright, here it is from the back. It's all cut and molded. Let's see. I got it laying down so it can dry. But there it is from the front. It'll show better once I get it in the truck. But it's recessed in there, and the only thing is there's a little bit of a hole right there. But once it's put in, you won't really notice that because it'll be black behind it. So it'll kind of cover that. But there it is, nicely done. It's just drying right now. It's all glued in, all that kind of stuff. So just gotta let that dry. Then while I was goofing off, I was working on this. So that's the, you know, the plate for the back. Let me get it over here so I can kind of show you a little bit better. Doesn't fall. So basically, you know, frame is on this side and axle goes underneath it, but like that. This gap right there is 3 inches. And the bag fully collapsed is just under 3 inches. I always, me personally, when I build it laid out, I make the space 3 inches. So that way the bag's never fully compressed all the way and just squished down complete. So here is the bracket basically for the driver's or the passenger side. I had to cut a little bit off that corner right there just for it to fit around the so that way it would fit around the welded in C-notch that was on the truck to begin with, because the way the C-notch is, that little corner had to be cut off. So now on this one, this is the driver's side, same thing, had to cut the corner off. Now the only thing I need to do now is cut this off, because there's not enough room between, without, you know, I'm not trying to modify the bed, not trying to do none of that. I want this truck to stay, the bed to stay perfect. So I had to modify the bottom of the bracket and cut it up that far, which is ½ inch. So I took about basically a ½ inch off the bottom bracket so it would allow it to go down. And it still allows me to get the bolts in underneath of it. So that's not a big deal. So next I got to cut this off right here, that ½ inch off the whole thing, and then basically build it just like that. I'm gonna cut these bolts off too, right there. But I need to cut that one down and build it just like that, and then I will show you what it looks like underneath the truck, just kind of sitting there. So let's go ahead, get that cut, and I'll show you what they look like just setting underneath there. And there they both are. Passenger, driver, bolts are cut down so it'll slide underneath the bed. And I mean, it's perfect. So now I will get under there and show you how this goes on. Alright. Alright, let's get a light up here, kind of, hopefully helps see. And like you say, see right there is the C-notch that was put in before I got it. So now this, just like that, perfecto. So now it's just basically get it in and weld it all up. Which of course, first I gotta, you know, grind the frame down, you know, grind all the paint off of everything and all that kind of stuff all around it. But there it is. I mean, that's how it's gonna be. I'm going to trim this a little more. So I should have enough room up there for the airline to get in, but I'm gonna trim it just a little bit more, just to make sure I got enough room up there. But there it is. Now it's grind and weld. So, no big deal. But that's gonna take a while. I'm going to, smack my camera. Alright. Just lay on the ground here. I'd like to take the bed off, but it's just gonna be a nightmare. Plus, it's most of the time it's by myself here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to completely unbolt the bed, and then that way I can just tilt the bed up and I can get to the top of this to weld, because I can reach underneath here and get all of this to weld, and you know, weld all this and everything. But I want to also weld on the top where it touches the frame up here, and I don't have enough room, so I'm going to just loosen the bed up, lift it up, you know, about a good foot, and then I can get in and weld along the top, and then this thing will be rock solid. So I guess I'll go ahead now. I don't know what I should do now. I guess it's really just start grinding on the frame and getting that all cleaned up, getting the paint off, and then go from there. Alright, let's get it. Well, there's most of it. So I got that one on that side and that one over there. They need to be cleaned up and painted. They're strong. Next thing I need to do, which I'm going to do that in the next video, is, you know, take the bed and move it so that way I can get to the top. But basically, the whole thing underneath here is done. And the same with that one over there. Well, that one needs a little bit more done on the bottom, for the bottom perch, which I'll do that. But easiest way to get that done is basically jack the thing up, take the tire off so I can get into that bottom perch on that far side. Because this one was a little bit of a nightmare to get to because it's so tight right here. So I'm just gonna do that in the next video. Just take the tire off, jack it up, get to that side of the perch for the bottom, make it real easy. But I think so far so good. There is a good amount of room up here, and I'm gonna trim this back a little more because I still have like 3/4 of an inch to trim. So we'll get that done. That should give me plenty of room up there for the fitting. And then basically we're done. All right, but last thing I want to do for the video is grab the dashboard. The only thing that I'm going to do, which I'll do that later off camera, is there is a crack still right here. There was a crack down here and a crack right there. Well, when I put this all together down on the bottom, I fixed that crack. So now I just need to fix this one. But let's go ahead and just like slap it in the car for now and just kind of give everybody an idea of what it's going to look like. Not the easiest thing to do one-handed. My phone's ringing. Hold on. Call him back in a minute. Alright, back to the truck. Pull this out. Pull that. And again, there is a panel that goes on the bottom, but that's the way it's going to look right there. And I mean, if you're sitting there driving, I mean, up, down, gauge. So that is, yeah, these are blue. I'm gonna wind up painting those black later. But I think that looks really good just sitting there like that. Well, so far so good. Happy with the progress. Hopefully the next video will be finished welding and then run the hose and run the electricity for it. And it should be done. Alright, hope you enjoyed the first half of this video. Stay tuned, there will be a second part. Catch you in the next video.